What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? And we are going to take a look at Bitcoin, see what's going on. We're going to take a look at our areas to watch for another leg up, and we're going to take a look at the possibilities for the way down. So we'll go into the 4-hour here towards the end before we go into the DXY, Gold, Silver, Ethereum, Litecoin, and XRP. And I'll tell you where the area I'm looking for a bounce in all of these coins. Again, we're going to go through this all, so definitely stick around for the whole video. Don't forget, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smash that thumbs up, even if you're not new here, and let's get into it. Share the video if you would, too. That helps a lot. All right, so taking a look at the rising broadening wedge that we've been watching, where we broke right here, and we do have a measured move of that. Now, that doesn't mean we can't continue up from here, guys. This could be a finished 5 waves down for wave 1, looking something like this that we had been talking about. The area to watch here is if it can get up above the 53,000 range and get support up here, then we could get our leg up to as high as maybe low 60,000s. But as of right now, I remain bearish unless we can get above that 53,000 and hold support. Let's talk about a couple other things. The measured move off of this drop here is 23,000. Now, that doesn't mean we go straight down. This could take a very long time. We could come up, get rejected from here one more time, and just slowly come down. And I'll show you the Amazon chart from the .com bubble. I've been talking a lot about that lately. If you guys are familiar with the .com bubble, there was all kinds of .com scams, just crappy companies that really had nothing behind them, and everybody could just buy any .com, and they were making tons of money back then until it all crashed down, cleaning up all the scams. I think crypto is right around that time when we need to get rid of all these scams and junky garbage projects, and just a lot of nonsense needs to be rid of in the crypto space. And I think a good hard crash would do that, if that's what we're going to get. We'll go over that in a minute. But as of right now, on the RSI and the daily, we do still have time to come down. Remember, on the daily, it can come down, go back up, leave a wick, and the RSI follows the body, not the wick. So there is still room here. If we go back over to here where we dropped right here, if we look at just from this top right here, that's this little blip right there, and that was another, measure that real quick and just see how far it dropped, just to show you guys. I know a lot of people think that overbought and oversold is how you use the RSI. That is not how you use it. But that went down another 39% from this little spot right here. So, and the other thing is the weekend is here. Weekends can get crazy. A lot of stuff can happen. Obviously, there's low volume. You can see, guys, there's 166 people and 74 likes. Come on, guys, smash the likes. So anyways, we could definitely still see some more downside here. I'm going to look at the targets in the smaller time frame. We'll look at that here in a minute. We're going to take a look at the Dow. If the Dow closes, let's put a trend line on here. And again, the Dow closes for the weekend. So, but the Dow closes around where it's at now or below. So if it closes below the 35,885, we're going to have some bearish divergence here. Actually hidden bearish divergence, and that's a continuation of the trend. And the trend is down. So next week we may see some more downside here. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. Make sure you tick your notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. Let's take a look at that Amazon comparison. Over here is Amazon in the .com bubble. Yesterday I made a mistake on the video. I said it took 20 years to recover to the all-time high right here. It took 10 years. My bad. It was 2009 to 2000, or I'm sorry, 99 to 2009. 10 years before it's seen this high again. Could we see the same thing in Bitcoin? Possibly. It doesn't have to be that long. We'll see what happens here. You can see this trend line I've drawn in here. That is right off of these wicks here, and we came back up and tagged that one more time above all the EMAs. before coming down, and that could be in the mid 50s to $60,000 range if it did the same thing. It does not have to do the same exact thing. This might not even play out, but if it does, you need to be prepared for it. This was a 95% crash, and it got down to 95%. So if Bitcoin was to do the same thing, it'd be around the $3,600-$3,700 Bitcoin. Now, some other things I talked about on this, if we measure from peak to peak, we're going to do that real quick and just see some other similarities in this. And you can see as it broke the high here was more of like a bull trap or a stop hunt from this high. Same thing we got on Bitcoin right here. A lot of similarities here, guys. Even had a big ABC that we had been waiting for. Right here was a big ABC, and then continuation to the downside. So let's measure this off of here right now. This took from peak to peak, these two peaks right here, 224 days. Let's see how long this one took. This one took 210 days from peak to peak. Pretty damn close. 2 weeks off of, over 200. So that's pretty damn close. Now let's take and measure how long it took from the peak to the bottom. And just for shits and giggles, so that took about 672 days. So let's say 650 days. If we went from the top, so if this does play out, when would we bottom? Would be somewhere around August or September of 2023, which would end up looking, something like this. Come back up, tag this one more time, and just a total ugly bear market all the way into 23. Obviously, there's going to be more bounces in here, but you get the idea. So that's what we could be seeing. Again, guys, there's no guarantees there. That's just, charts are based on human emotions, fear and greed. You guys, anyone that knows charting or trading, you trade patterns. This is a pattern, and it is starting to look like it's playing out quite well. I do think it is possible we go down to the $40,000 range. It is a possibility, but we'll take a look at that 4 hour, like I said, and look at some areas I'm looking at. Everybody likes to talk about the gaps, all the gaps above us. Well, there's gaps below us. There's one here at 33, 24.7, 18.7, 11.2, 9,600. There's quite a few gaps down there, guys. Be aware of that. And if you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out Prime XBT. It wasn't on right now, but I do have a link below in the description along with my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. Definitely check those out. If you are interested in trading, you can get lots of practice on Prime XBT right now. They are having contests where you get free money to trade with, and you can, if you win the contest, you actually get tradable money. Some of them are $100,000, some of them are $5,000 that you can actually trade with and keep the winnings. So if you guys, even if you don't need practice, you might want to check out Prime. Like I said, the link's down below. They don't trade against you. You can trade gold, Forex, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange. Definitely check them out. They are by far my favorite exchange, and you can use my promo code SAVVY25. That'll get you 25% off your fees. Right here is a tutorial. If you go to my YouTube page, definitely check it out. There's also some other tutorials here too. I want to go back over to the daily though first. We're going to take a look at these EMAs. You guys know we got a sell signal right here when the 21, 13, and 8 cross the 55. The next candle opened and closed below the 8 EMA. So we could be seeing some more downside here. Again, guys, it's the weekend. But right now, the resistance is going to be around that 50,000. That's also the 200 EMA. And the 8 EMA is going to be around that range also. Like I said, if we break through that, chances are we may come back up and retest this 53,000. If we get above that, obviously we can go further. But I do have short-term time frames that says it's still possible we go further. I still have targets I've been waiting on. And let's take a look at it. First, this is the macro. And you guys know the macro parabolic arcs here. Every time we break it, we go into a bear market. This was back in 2014. This is back in 2018. And I think we have broken it again. Another thing, I want to go into the daily here. As you guys know, this is the 0.382 fib right here that we broke below. And if you zoom in, you'll notice that's giving massive resistance right now. We went up and tested it a few times, and we are getting rejected. And that lies around the 50,500. So if we get back above this and can get support, we may get another bounce back up here, being that wave 2. So keep an eye out for that. This is what I'm looking at right now. We're looking at this rising channel, possibly bear flag. Our first target would just be the measurement of the break of the rising channel, and we actually broke it here. So I take my measurement off the first break, and that gets us down to about the 45,400, 45,500 range. That would be the first spot I would expect a bounce if we don't get back over these EMAs right here. Right now on the 4-hour, this 8 EMA is around 48,333 currently resistance. If that breaks, our next resistance is 48,633. After that's a 21 EMA around 49,000. And if that breaks and we get support on 49, I'd be looking for at least this 55 EMA up here at around 50,500 to 50,800 range. Otherwise, if we cannot get back above this 8 EMA, we may be coming down to this 45,400. And then my next target obviously is 40,000 because of all this confluence over here and psychological even numbers. I would expect a bounce there, maybe all the way back up to the 45 if we get that low, and then continue on down. Possibly if this was a bear flag here, this is the bear flag measurement, all the way down to around 34.8. As you can see, volume is still declining. And right here, we had the same wedge or the same channel in the RSI. We broke down through it. Now we are in a falling channel. We are currently only 15 minutes into the 4-hour candle. If we do close above this channel and get support on it in the RSI, then we're probably going to come up and retest these areas here around that 50,000. Maybe give it one more try to break 50,000. Otherwise, like I said, you can't count the RSI till the close. So if the close is still back inside this channel, we may come back down for another test towards the downside. Be aware of that. And don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. If you are looking for a late Christmas present or whatever, she can get most stuff done pretty quick if you get it in quick. But she does a lot of personalized stuff. It's quality stuff, guys. Check it out. Links down below in the description. The DXY. So the DXY, we have our targets up here at 97.8 and 98.4. This is looking like a triangle here. So if we were to break down here, and it probably won't happen tonight. It's possible before the DXY closes tonight. But the target to the downside would be about 94.7. So if the DXY breaks down here, I would expect Bitcoin to pump up. And if this breaks up, I would expect Bitcoin to drop. So keep a close eye on the DXY right there. That measured move gets us up into our target ranges up here if we do go up. Gold, nothing great to talk about gold if we zoom in on a daily. Still getting rejected at the EMAs here. As you guys know, I think this is a big ABC correction on gold. 1602 is the one-to-one extension. If it goes beyond that, 15.5. And if that breaks, then gold's in serious trouble. Silver, still looking for around that $20 range. And then if that breaks, 15.5. And as you can see, we are still below all the EMAs here. Still look pretty bearish. Ethereum. So let me zoom out so you can see this. Ethereum, we're looking at this rising wedge. We did break this trend line here. Once a trend line is broken, guys, I think it's weak and it's most likely going to break again. But the bounce point for Ethereum right now is around the 38.50. If we get down to that level and it does not hold, then we can start looking at much lower targets. The first one being the 200 EMA. And this all depends on what Bitcoin does. And traditional markets, because this may not be till next week unless they take advantage of the weekend, do it all at once. But if 38.51 breaks, then I'd be looking for 33.96. And if that breaks the measured move here, is right here at the 1850 range. Obviously, there was some major support here around 2400 also. But again, we could get a nice bounce there at the 3850, so keep an eye on that range. And Litecoin is looking pretty ugly, to say the least, guys. We did break this trend, which was this rising broadening wedge. The measured move of that is down in the mid 20s. But if we do have this drop in Bitcoin and everything else drops too, I see it coming down to possibly this 107, 108 for a bounce zone. If it doesn't get a bounce there, then that would be very bad, get ugly very quick. But I would expect at least a bounce if we get down to this range. XRP, same thing. We broke this support right here with the wick. I do have the area right around 76 cents is where I would expect a bounce if everything does come down today or this weekend. 76.5, if that does break, I would be looking for 26. And now this 26 would be probably next year, or when Bitcoin finally bottoms. I don't think it would happen all at once. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. If we're going to get a bounce, it's going to be around that 76, I do believe, on XRP. But like I said, keep a close eye on this Amazon versus Bitcoin chart. And this is the weekly chart, guys. Sam said we're going to zero. Nice. Like a nice bump up so I can get out of my altcoins. It's pretty much impossible for Bitcoin to go to zero, but it could go pretty damn low. I'm thinking the lower 20s, best case scenario, if this is the beginning of the bear market, and 3,500, 3,600 worst case, and that's only because of looking at this chart. And like I said, if that happened, that's not negative for Bitcoin. It's actually good for Bitcoin because they would wash out all the crap coins, and that money is going to go somewhere, and it's going to go into good crypto, which Bitcoin, I'm sure, will stay alive. A lot of the other ones, I highly doubt, but we'll see if this happens, what ones come out of it. So anyways, I'm hoping for around 5 to 10K. It's definitely a possibility. Obviously, there's no guarantees, man. This thing could still shoot up, and the $100,000 Bitcoiners could be right, but I really don't see it, and I definitely don't see it this year. If you also, you guys, you can give me a follow on Twitter. It is at CryptoSavvy1. There was some imposters on there. And guys, if you see comments down below after you comment, that's not me if I'm telling you to get a hold of me or any of that crap. My email is down there so you can check the email. I don't use WhatsApp. I'm on Telegram, but I don't really use Telegram. But anyways, I'll never ask you to contact me on any of that stuff. You can check out our free Discord. You can get a hold of me in there. The link is down below for that also. Do you see a head and shoulders on BTC 4 hour and 1 hour? Let's take a look. Possibly. I don't really, you're talking about this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It could be. I really don't care for cutting through bodies like this, but we can draw it in there and take a look. So could it be done? And that wick we had up here bend the left shoulder is possible. What would the measured move there be? Pretty much, nope. Let's take a measured move of that and see what that one comes up with. We go from top of the head to the neckline. And if it was to break this neckline, that one gets us down to about 42.4, somewhere in that range, which would be the same bottom as this wick here. So possible. Looking for a quick long and a sign of a bounce, then eyeing that right shoulder up there. Yeah, it could be. This could have been the right shoulder right here, this big wick here, though, so be aware of that. But like I said, if you zoom into the 4 hour, right now, we're still getting rejected on that 8 EMA as of right now. which is right at about 83 or 48,345. Stock market's on the verge of crashing. It will most likely happen after Christmas. Nobody wants to ruin Santa rally, and once this year closes, it's going to crash and rise again. Possibly. Big catalyst is coming this Wednesday with Jerome Powell meeting. Maybe. There's a head and shoulders on Ether in the 4-hour. Oh, thanks for the super chat, by the way, Ninja Killer. I appreciate that. MD, thank you for the super chat. How about a massive head and shoulders on the daily? Been watching that play out since I started watching you. On the daily, you're talking about what? This being a left shoulder, this being a head? That's huge. Or are you talking about left shoulder, head, and then we're going to make a right shoulder here? And that's possible because that right shoulder would be wave 2. So that's definitely a possibility. Thank goodness for you, Savvy. One real person in the space. Right on, man. I just share my ideas. I hope it helps. I hope you guys can learn that you know, you shouldn't follow anyone's on YouTube as in following them for trades or anything or any advice. What I do here is I show you how I look at the markets, why I look at the markets, and what I use to look at the markets. And hopefully you can learn on your own, develop your own strategies or whatever you got to do. But if you do practice enough, you can be a successful trader. I know that for a fact. I've done it. Savvy, I don't see recently defining your targets of wave C. My chart hasn't changed. I just moved this out of the way so it was cleaner. So right there is wave C. Like I said, could be down to this mid-20s range. It all depends on how this plays out. If we actually get a wave 2 up, or if it plays out like this here. You know, you didn't get much of a big wave 2 up here. Guess you could look at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but yeah. Bitcoin will never be $0. Some rich dude will spend 20 million and buy it all. If humans finally create a decentralized gold exchange, the price of an ounce will be 100x overnight. Do you believe in harmonic patterns? I don't use harmonics. I know a lot of guys do. My thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. What I use works, so I stick with that. Fear and greed at 24, extreme fear, normally the best buying opportunities. Yeah, be careful with that fear and greed indicator crap. That's not like, it's not set in stone stuff. What about inflation? I've shared over and over, you can go back into my videos. Every time the market crashes, you see buy gold commercials, buy silver commercials. For one, who the hell's selling it if it's going to go up so high? For two, every time the market crashes, gold crashes, silver crashes. The only thing that rises is the dollar. Because people are selling into the dollar. The power of the dollar rises. You need less dollars to buy the stocks. Once the dollar tops out, they turn it around. They buy all the cheap stocks, pump that back up, and do it all over again. And every time right before a market crash, they always scare people out of the dollar. Happens every time. So anyways, guys, appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to smash the likes, tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos, and subscribe if you haven't already for daily updates. I'm trying to get back into the daily groove. Haven't really picked a good time yet, but eventually I will get back to in the groove and give you a video at the same time every day. You can leave in the comments, leave what time you think would be a good time on Eastern time. So take it easy, guys.